And the first painting depicts the following: my parents always ask me why I keep staring at them. But in reality, I'm looking at the terrifying woman behind them. This painting naturally reminds me of a creepypasta story I read a long time ago, where a man, out of jealousy, killed his wife and threw her body down a well. A few days later he started to wonder and asked his son, "Why didn't you ask anything when you didn't see mom at home?" The child then replied innocently, "No, Dad, I saw you carrying mom on your back." The second painting, the boy's father who drew the next painting, passed away in a car accident, and his mother left right after. Several years later, the boy's foster parents discovered this painting. In the painting, the boy depicted his parents, with his mother seated in the car, while his father appeared to be in a state of panic. You can imagine what might have happened. 2. This third painting was drawn by Emily, a new first grader who is currently attending an extracurricular talent center. Emily loves drawing. She can draw hundreds of pictures a day about things that have happened around her. Emily doesn't like talking to others, especially children her age. Typically, children who speak less tend to think a lot, and Emily is no exception. The painting I just showed you was found by Emily's mother under her bookshelf in Emily's room. She said that lately, around 4 a.m., they often heard Emily crying loudly in her room. Unable to ask her daughter, they were forced to pay more attention to the paintings she drew. Strange and eerie entities were surrounding the bed, and it seemed like the girl was very frightened. "You, Emily, die!" is what I read in the painting. A creature was peeking in from outside the window, another creature was on the ceiling, and 2 other creatures were standing around the bed, with what seemed to be blood on the floor. I don't know what really happened to Emily, but I think it's time her parents invited an exorcist home. 1. The next painting was found by a teacher in the desk drawer in the teacher's lounge at school. It seems like some mischievous student drew this eerie thing. My teacher is an atheist. Atheists are those who always maintain a skeptical attitude towards deities and the supernatural. In the painting there's an image of the teacher being bound hand and foot, standing amidst flames, and the other creature present, unmistakably, is the demon Satan. According to the beliefs of some people and in some places, they think that only those who follow God will go to heaven, while hell is reserved for atheists and sinners. 1. This 5th painting was uploaded to Twitter by an incognito account with the caption, "I have a cousin named Bob, 5 years old. One day, about 2 years ago, his parents went on a business trip for 2 days, so they asked me to come over and look after him. Bob treasures me, and I feel the same way, so I agreed without hesitation. My cousin's house is quite small, with just a living room, his parents' bedroom, and Bob's bedroom. So that night, I slept with the kid. Around 11 p.m., I woke up to the sound of the TV being quite loud downstairs in the living room. I turned to where Bob was supposed to be, but he wasn't there. And as I predicted, the little boy had sneaked downstairs to watch TV. I called him up to go to bed and he seemed quite reluctant, but at least nothing else happened that night. However, things truly terrified me the next morning. After finishing my homework and going out to the living room to see what Bob was up to, I saw him drawing this painting. Bob said that last night, while I was sleeping upstairs, he ran in and accidentally saw this scene, a man in a blue shirt holding a knife and standing next to the bed, but as soon as he saw Bob, the man jumped out the window instantly. I'd like to emphasize again that Bob's room is on the 2nd floor. The kid thought it was someone familiar to me, so he came down to the living room to watch TV, and that's what happened. What should I do if Bob's story is true, and if Bob hadn't shown up right then, could I be sitting here telling you this story? 1. The next 6th painting I want to introduce was drawn by Eddie, a 10-year-old boy who recently visited a relative in a mental hospital. In the painting, a man with disheveled hair is tightly bound to the bed, and to me this painting is more pitiful than scary. 1. The 7th painting below has the following content. This is my sister, but my mom says I don't have a sister. She says mom killed her. Is there a mystery behind this painting, about some sad story in the past? But for me, this painting feels both terrifying and a bit pitiful. I think it's time for this family to have a serious conversation with each other. 1. The 8th painting below was posted by a mother who said her family had just moved to a house by the river. The river was quite long, and they didn't know where it originated from or where it flowed to. But roughly speaking, the scenery was no different from a horror movie. They were forced to move there because they couldn't afford to rent houses in the city anymore. Their family had a 6-year-old daughter. In the first few days after moving in, the little girl said she had made friends with an older girl from the neighborhood. She even introduced this older girl to her parents, describing her as very well behaved and cute. because they had just moved in and still had to unpack, they planned to visit the neighbors on the nearest day. On the third day after moving in, their daughter showed her mother this painting. She said the girl invited her to jump into the river to play, but she refused because she didn't know how to swim. Feeling uneasy after seeing the painting, the mother decided to talk to the girl next door. She had no other intention but to caution the children not to lure each other to dangerous places. However, when she went to the neighbor's house, she discovered that the neighbor's daughter had died 2 years ago. 1. The ninth painting below has the following content. My cousin drew this picture. It depicts a girl named Katie with disheveled hair. When I asked who Katie was, she replied that Katie was her friend, who often stands outside the window every night. Personally, before I go to bed, I have a habit of closing the windows or drawing the curtains because the scariest feeling is the sensation that someone is watching me from the darkness while I sleep. Surely this friend Katie is not a normal character because children are not allowed outside at night, and no foolish person would stand outside a window and watch someone sleep. 1. The 10th painting depicts the following. My 4-year-old sister drew this picture and said that there is a demon always following me, but I cannot see it. It's another case of children seeing things that adults cannot. The giant long-haired creature has been following the older sister for quite some time, and I think that's scary enough. 1. The 11th painting. A 5-year-old girl named Michelle drew this to give to her grandfather. I'm sorry you're about to die. She probably just means that she would be very sad if he passed away, right? I think so, but surely the one who would be unhappy is her grandfather when he receives this terrifying card. 1. The 12th painting. When I saw this next painting, I felt more surprised than scared. When I was young, I used to watch adults slaughter chickens and ducks, but I thought of it simply as a normal action. However, for the child who drew this painting, it's different. Looking at this painting, you can surely guess the thoughts of that young person. In another world where humans are the inferior animals and animals become the superior ones, of course, this would happen. Truly, this painting is truly terrifying, and this is Creep Factor. Thank you for taking the time to watch the entire video. And if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more interesting contents.